Welcome back to the channel. Watch the video until the end, leave a like, and subscribe to the channel to support us. Did you know that Genghis Khan has about 16 million living descendants? In addition to his fame for his passion for women, the Mongol ruler is known in retrospect primarily for his ruthless brutality. The founder of the Mongol Empire considered himself God's punishment, and once said, "Happiness means to destroy your enemies, plunder their riches, and sleep on the white belly of their wives and daughters." However, Genghis Khan's cruelty was not limited to his enemies. He also killed his own half-brother because he did not want to share food with him, and exterminated entire populations deemed too tall. In fact, when Genghis Khan was 20 years old, he led an army against the tribe that had killed his father. After defeating the Tartar army, he proceeded to grotesquely exterminate the population. Tartar men were lined up and measured with a stick. Anyone taller than about 120 cm, not 90 cm, as mistakenly mentioned, was beheaded, leading to the killing of all adult males, except for infants. Thanks to bloody actions like these, Genghis Khan acquired a reputation for extreme cruelty that still resonates today. Born presumably between 1155 and 1162, the so-called Khagan united the Mongol tribes under a single banner and conquered much of Central Asia and northern China. In 1206, Genghis Khan became Great Khan and ruled an empire stretching over 4 million km². Under him and his successors, the Mongols created the largest contiguous empire in history, covering an area of 24 million km² and housing about 100 million people. After his death in 1227, the Mongol ruler was buried with all possible honors. However, the location of his tomb remains unknown, partly because of the drastic measures taken to keep its location secret, including the killing of all living beings in the area and leveling the ground by thousands of riders who were then executed to maintain the secret. Genghis Khan's situation changed dramatically when his father was poisoned by the Tartars. At that time, the future ruler was only 9 years old, and after his father's death, his family lost the support of the tribe, being robbed of its belongings. Genghis Khan, who was then called Temujin, frequently quarreled with his half-brother Bektar. According to legend, at the age of 14, Temujin killed Bektar following a dispute over a caught fish, an act that marked the beginning of his rise to power. Genghis Khan was known for his skill in conducting murderous raids and believed that the spread terror helped him defeat his enemies without fighting. A notable episode was the siege of the city of Otrar, where, after the refusal of the governor Inalchuq to submit, Genghis Khan ordered the city's destruction and the brutal killing of Inalchuq, who was executed by pouring molten silver into his throat. It is estimated that about 40 million people fell victim to the Mongols, an impressive number that highlights the broad impact of their military campaigns. During the invasion of the Jin dynasty in China, Genghis Khan and his more than 100,000 fighters advanced rapidly, besieging city after city. In 1215, their attention focused on Zhongdu, now known as Beijing, the capital of the Jin dynasty. Given the city's formidable defense, with walls 12 meters high and 29 km long, the Mongols opted for a siege rather than a direct attack. The siege led to desperate conditions within the walls, with cannibalism spreading among the besieged. In the end, the inhabitants surrendered, and the Mongols massacred much of the population and razed the city to the ground. Another horrifying episode was the revenge for the killing of a Mongol merchant in Nishapur. In response, Genghis Khan ordered a massacre so severe that, according to some estimates, more than 1.7 million people died. The victims were decapitated and their skulls piled into pyramids, an act of terror intended to further subjugate the conquered populations. However, not all of Genghis Khan's actions were driven solely by the desire to spread terror. His skill in creating strategic alliances through the marriage of his daughters to the chiefs of the subjugated tribes was crucial in expanding and consolidating his empire. Despite these marriages being political alliances, there are stories suggesting that love was not entirely absent. Genghis Khan also proved to be an innovator in the administration of his vast empire, introducing practices such as religious freedom, international trade, and a postal system that allowed for fast communications across the vast expanses of his domain. After his death in 1227, the Mongol Empire continued to expand under the guidance of his successors, reaching its peak under the reign of Kublai Khan. However, despite his conquests and military genius, Genghis Khan has remained a controversial figure in history, admired for his leadership abilities and administrative innovations, but also feared and condemned for the atrocities committed during his military campaigns. Regarding the 16 million living descendants, this impressive figure comes from genetic studies that have revealed the presence of specific Y chromosomal markers in a vast population extending from Asia to Europe. This genetic spread is partly attributable to the practice, by Genghis Khan and his successors, of taking many wives and concubines in the conquered territories, leaving a lasting genetic imprint through the generations. In conclusion, Genghis Khan remains one of the most enigmatic and influential figures in history, a ruthless conqueror who was also a skilled administrator and statesman, whose actions and legacy continue to be the subject of study and debate.